Stablecoins are one of the main driving factors of any crypto ecosystem, making up billions of dollars inside of crypto. But Cardano has recently been picking up the slack and getting some of these stablecoins into the ecosystem and growing them. Now, in today's video, I want to go over stablecoins on Cardano, the hub for them, maybe reliable yields, and how TeddySwap is building something that can be sustainable and also grow people's yields, lower the risk appetite, and deliver a product that can enhance Cardano's stablecoin ecosystem overall. Jumping right into it, TeddySwap has been built directly for stablecoins, a DEX-like platform that offers less impermanent loss and the ability to yield on stablecoins more reliably and consistently. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen 100%, but what has been put out so far and the ideas of TeddySwap are really good, and we definitely need something like this for all the different stablecoins launching on Cardano to be utilized and also to grow and expand past the point of just a few $1,000,000, but into a point where people can rely on them and use them to do all sorts of different things inside the Cardano ecosystem without actually exiting the ecosystem because they can stay in stables. I also want to mention before I dive any further deep into this that this isn't just a random project built by random people. This is a project built by a few notable, very, very notable people and developers that have put other things in the Cardano ecosystem on mainnet, TostiDrop, and BTC, and much more. People who have worked for Cardano Foundation and DC Spark, and developers that have a lot of experience with things directly on Cardano and even building their own tech stacks. Shortly, some of the advantages of something like TeddySwap are listed below. Minimal and permanent loss on stable swaps, open source DEX with full transparency. People can run their own batches and earn ADA. That's pretty important. Large yield farming for stable assets. Fair tokenomics, 85% to the community. This I don't really care too much about, I'll be honest. A governance token is good, but it's not my biggest concern for stable swap DEX. And then revenue used to buy back Teddy to increase the Teddy price likely is also good if you're investing in Teddy. Now, before diving any further, I would be remiss to not tell you, even though you could stake with Jack's stake pool, but you can stake with these stake pools below for the FISO if you want to earn Teddy and ADA, probably, if I assume. So if you want to do that, you can stake with these stake pools to earn Teddy. It is a thing. Or you can stake with the Jack's stake pool to earn some ADA and some good old Hosky token worth nothing. Make your own decision to do what you want, but just throwing those out there to tell you. Now, going over TeddySwap directly, there are some big objectives and goals here. This is our light paper. I'm going to highlight a few things that I think are important. And first things first is the high potential for Cardano to succeed with stablecoins and the reasons behind that. As I mentioned earlier, most of liquidity in crypto is in stablecoins. Currently, 4 out of top 10 cryptocurrencies are stablecoins with a combined market cap of 133 billion. Stablecoins are a pillar of any flourishing cryptocurrency ecosystem, and Cardano is definitely not an exception to that rule. People need stable options to perform in volatile markets. On top of this, Cardano is poised for rapid stablecoin growth with a lot of planned stablecoins of at least 5 launching in the year of 2023 alone. Right now, liquidity providers can provide liquidity to normal pairs, but it is pretty risky. On TeddySwap, the idea is to provide to stablecoin pairs and have significantly less exposure to impermanent loss, allowing DeFi investors to earn a consistent and reliable yield. Now, next, the main objectives of the protocol are to increase capital efficiency of Cardano stablecoins to bring increased value to the Cardano ecosystem. That's pretty big, that's pretty important, it makes sense, and hopefully TeddySwap can do that with what they're launching. And then second, to provide fundamental infrastructure to allow users to effectively utilize and leverage stablecoins on Cardano, not just sit in their wallet or with their hands on them, but actually be able to farm and yield and not put as much risk on the line as a traditional DEX. And then next, offer an attractive and conservative yield option to community members with low slippage and drastically reduce risk of impermanent loss. Pretty cool objectives, makes sense, and having something like this in the ecosystem for stablecoins directly is overall a very much so net positive. On top of this, we have the technical approach. Now, I didn't understand all of the formulas in here, I'll be honest, but it looks pretty good, and things do look good because they are using an AMM exchange at first with a standard invariant calculation. This formula was implemented by Spectrum Labs and will be used until the V2 launch of TeddySwap, and there will be an update on that for a likely better version of the formula, or just increase for less impermanent loss and better yields for people and more consistent, at least I hope so. And then on top of that, TeddySwap's focus on stablecoins will provide a platform for traders to swap in and out of stablecoins with lower fees and increase capital efficiency or increase efficiency in pricing compared to other DEXs where a lot of people are arbitraging price. TeddySwap is kind of that one place you go to for better prices, at least that's the idea. TeddySwap then goes over some of the formulas used in making this happen and how it can work, comparing it with Uniswap's original formula and how they built their AMM DEX. And then they go over the formula that we'll use for V2 and how TeddySwap will be doing so the price of stable swaps can maintain the one-to-one peg while also ensuring the pool cannot be drained. As I mentioned earlier, the team of developers is quite nice in terms of their technical remarks and what they're doing. So I don't think this is a drawback. This is definitely a plus, having 3 pretty good developers, and 2 of which have extensive experience with Plutus and just in general Cardano smart contracts. So I'm pretty happy on that part. Overall, I think the team has been doing great. I don't care too much about the tokenomics, I'll be honest. If you do, let me know in the comments what you think about it. And the utility of Teddy is not my main concern. It's really the utility of the platform directly. But yeah, the roadmap for TeddySwap is pretty simple. They've done a lot so far. The release of V1 mainnet is coming in February or March. That's pretty good. And then yield farming after that. Then V2 testnet shortly after. And within the 3rd quarter of 2023, a launch of V2 mainnet using that last formula we covered. And then the platform would have full governance shortly after, ideally. And so we'll see what's after that and how the protocol develops. But at this point, you'd have a solid place and foundation for Cardano stablecoins to be traded and to be used and propelled efficiently, which would drastically increase the amount of stable use on Cardano and help the ecosystem grow in general. That's TeddySwap. I do think it is a little ways out. Within a month or 2, we should see the mainnet release, but I likely will be using it and trying it out myself when it comes. And I do think it's pretty important to know things ahead of time so you can prepare, take part in testnet, and get a feel for what's going on in DeFi, as Cardano's DeFi has been growing quite rapidly lately. There's a lot to keep up with. That's why I made this video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Look forward to another video tomorrow because I will be posting one, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.